Everybody, we're going to move on to Zoe's session. And thank you again, Marissa, for everything. It was so nice to see your face, even though it's not in 3D, like I said. But I'm sure once this all lifts, maybe we'll see each other again. Before we go in, though, I just want to get a quick check-in because we haven't done this in about an hour or so. Can we just get the chat box up here? And if you guys can put where you're at right now, like where are you currently located? I'm usually in, I should say, New York City, but I'm currently in New Jersey. So I'm just going to type that in the chat box, but give us a little idea of where's everybody coming from, because I know we had earlier today, we had some people who were, it was like midnight for them in Australia. And we have some people who are on the West Coast and we have some people on the East Coast. And it would be kind of neat to see. Oh, wow, look at this. See, it is a global event. Memphis. Hey, Laura. Aw, that's nice. Brooklyn, Zoe. I see everybody there. So cool. I really hope you're all enjoying this. And Zoe, we won't keep you much longer. Marissa, is there anything else that you wanted to share before I let you go formally?
That's everything. Yeah, thanks,
okay.
Dina.
Thank you. All right, Zoe, you are now co-host. Take it away with whatever it is that you need to do.
All right, thank you so much, Dina. Am I on the screen?
You are on the screen. And so, I'll keep an eye on the chat for you. If there's people like to be admitted, I'll take care of all that for you.
Perfect. So hello, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I am a medicinal chef in Brooklyn, but I'm from Shanghai, China. And today I'm going to teach you how to make a nourishing, warming winter porridge that's based on both Western nutrition and also traditional Chinese nutrition principles. So let's just get started. I hope you can see my table and hear me well. So for TCM, winter is the season of kidney, it's the water element. And so for winter, we want to have ingredients that can nourish our kidney and also replenish warmth for our body. So our hands and feet won't feel so cold, and we will have a stronger defense chi, the life energy that can both basically boost our immunity. So for our porridge, I don't know if any of you love porridge. In the West, I feel like people eat, oatmeal. So it's very similar principle. So here today, we're going to use two types of grains for our porridge. The first one is this. And you also can interrupt me anytime if you have questions about the foods. This one, I don't know if anybody can tell, it is a sticky millet. So it's a special variety of millet called the sticky millet. And I think I will share the recipe during the follow-up email for all of you. And then we also have this, kind of hard to see. This is a blend of purple and black rice. Darker color, purple and black color foods go into the kidney meridians. So this is what we want for the winter. And these kind of grains, all these three grains are whole grains. So, have a lot of phytonutrients in them. And you can see from the color, the pigmentation, a lot of good stuff in here. Okay, so these are the main grains that we're gonna do. And for black rice and purple rice, I pre-soaked them overnight. And this morning, I strained them and I kept the water, as you can see, from washing off the grains, and I use those to wash my face. It's really good for the skin. Okay, and then for our main vegetables, we're just going to use mushrooms. I have some maitake mushroom, but you can use shiitake, portobello, any mushrooms you like. Mushrooms is yin nourishing, so it keeps us away from dryness in our body. And then scallion and ginger. Perfect. So let's get started, and I'll explain other things as I go. First, I am going to chop my ginger. Ginger, as you know, is a really warming ingredient. Good for our immunity, anti-inflammation. I always use ginger, and I do like to keep the skin because the skin does add a little bit more to it. So I'm going to chop it. And then I'm going to my pot. Oh, and to get my gas, 1 second. Here it is. Okay. Put it in. Okay, so the fire is on. And I'm going to saute the ginger with the scallion first until they smell really nice. So I am putting a really special oil from China. It's a camellia seed oil. It's extra virgin, but it can endure, the smoking point is higher than olive oil. So it's fantastic for Chinese cooking or stir frying. Really good stuff. Okay, so here I'm going to put the oil in. And then put in my ginger and scallions.
Zoe, are you going to ship this directly to us at all of our locations when you're done?
I wish I can. It smells really good right now. I hope you can see that sizzling. And then I'm just gonna roughly chop the mushrooms. I love maitake mushroom. I don't know what's your favorite mushroom, Dina. Do you have a favorite one?
I don't know if I have a favorite one. I like all of them. The chanterelles are very good. I love portobellos for like that meaty kind of heavier substance.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of mushrooms, both raw and cooked. Do you recommend one or the other? Does it depend on the season or the season, you know, whatever organ system you're working with as far as whether it should be raw or cooked as far as the vegetables are concerned?
Right, yeah. So winter definitely more cooked vegetables and mushroom almost always cooked because they're already, you know, kind of yin, a lot of yin, a lot of I would say it's more cooling.
Yeah.
The cooling side, so we want to warm it up a little bit. And I personally just think it tastes better when it's cooked.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you.
So we're going to saute it until they start to brown a little bit and smells really amazing. And then we're going to add the grains. But I want to explain another seasoning that I'm going to use. So for winter, you think of a spices. That's, you know, anti-inflammatory, but also at the same time to warms you up. And good for blood circulation. And there are some key ones. Anybody can recognize? Star anise, right? And inside this jar, I have a small bag that's actually cloves. Small, these are cloves. And then here we have, anybody tell? It's a Chinese cinnamon bark, bigger than the Western ones, but you can use the Western ones as well. And then we have some peppercorn. But you know, it's a lot to buy those whole bulky spices, right? So you can just buy 5 spice powder. I just have everything that I just said. So I'm just going to add a little bit 5 spice powder and with the vegetables. So yummy. You can use it for meat dish, pairs very well, especially with lamb, which is another really warming protein. Okay, great. And then right now I'm also going to add this one. It is a dried mushroom. Here, you can see it's cordyceps, dried cordyceps. Add it in. You can, you know, buy any dried mushrooms that you like. They add so much umami into whatever food you're making.
So Zoe, this particular recipe is 100% plant-based, vegan, vegetarian. How would you define it in case anybody wants to make the recipe when you send it?
Yeah, so it is 100% plant-based. It's also 100% gluten-free as well.
Thank you.
All right, so we have those in, and then I'm going to add the grain because as you can see, they start to brown, smelling really, really yummy here. Okay, so I'm going to add millet. But you can also just use oats, whatever grain that you prefer. The black rice and purple rice. And then for the liquid, you can either add a bone broth, a vegetable broth, water, or in my case, I'm adding some oat milk and sweetened oat milk. So your porridge will turn out really creamy, even though you're not adding any dairy or cream. So the ratio between your grain and the liquid for a thin porridge, it can be 1:10 because the rice really puff up. It can absorb a lot of water. So this is really good if if you want to lose some weight, if you want to feel full but without eating a lot of heavy things. Porridge is a fantastic choice. They're also easy to digest. But not like salads that's raw in winter. I wouldn't recommend too much raw salads or juicy in the winter. Your digestion can actually suffer from that, in my opinion. Okay, so right now that is it. I'm just going to add in one herbal ingredient, that's goji berry. So very easy for everybody to buy. You can get them online, Whole Foods, just about this much. I'm using organic goji berries, so I'm not gonna really wash it, but if yours is not, wash and soak them. So here's my goji berry in. Great. And then we just need to basically wait for it to cook. I'm actually going to add a little bit more water here. I boiled some water. I'm just going to add more liquid here. Okay, so it is stewing. One more thing, if you want to go above and beyond, I have some black sesame powder. Again, a black ingredient that go into the kidney meridian. Really, really wonderful for yin nourishing. So yin and yang, the Taiji symbol, right? So in winter we want to nourish the yin. We want to eat young foods to keep ourselves warm, but also at the same time we want to nourish the yin because that's what keeps our body hydrated. That's, I think, for women, it's almost like if I say it in a Western term, it's like anti-aging, because woman is yin. We want to nourish your yin essence with foods like sesame, so your skin is hydrated. You don't, there's less dryness in your body. So I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of the black sesame. And another good thing is this can be just eaten by a tablespoon as a supplement. I would really recommend for your hair, like black sesame powder, walnut powder, blend together and just eat it. Really, really good for children even, for stronger bones. Also really good source of fats. So yeah, really nice. Oh good. I guess I'm going to bring my computer a little closer so you can see what this looks like. We have goji berry, we have the grains, the mushrooms. So I'm just going to let it cook. And I'm using black rice, purple rice, and millet today. So black rice can take a little bit longer to cook. However, if you just use oatmeal, this porridge will take you 15 minutes to cook the oatmeal through. And if you have a rice cooker, just put everything in overnight. The second day it will be ready for you in the morning as breakfast. So I think porridge is just the easiest thing you can do. And you can put, I only put mushrooms today, right? You can add 2 to 3 different kinds of vegetables. then it is a whole meal basically. So I would really, really recommend everybody to try to incorporate porridge in your daily life. It is bubbling, so I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit. Yeah, I think it will be cooked in time in 10 minutes. So we will make our time. Or my session actually ends at 12:30, right? So I will definitely have time to see the finished product. And if you have any questions, please, you can just ask me. Feel free to unmute yourself. If you're interested in any of these herbs that I have back here, you can ask me so I can show you some stuff. Okay, so yeah, we just need to wait for it to cook.
Zoey, while we're waiting, can you share with everybody, because I'm going to actually put this on screen as well. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I think, right, like all of your information on Instagram, but I know you also have a YouTube, not a YouTube, well, do you have a YouTube channel? I know you have a TikTok channel, which I love because you give little like quick 60-second massage things.
Yeah.
I've been doing the one for the chin. I
Yeah.
love all these like acupressure things. Can you share with us a little bit about what you do on social media?
Yeah, sure. So, on TikTok, I just started to use TikTok in June. I mostly post massage tutorials because I think this is something, we do every day in China. I see my grandparents do them every day. And it's so simple, but can make a big difference on your body. And I really think, massage should be taught at schools. This is what friends should do to friends. Should be a very natural thing that we touch each other with good intention. And so on TikTok, I share about that, how to have a better sleep, what to do when you feel bloated, or, if you have a lower back pain, and breast health and things like that. So that's TikTok. And my Instagram is mostly food based, where I make herbal cuisine with TCM. TCM stands for traditional Chinese medicine, so with the ingredients in TCM, Chinese cooking, but also with some Western style dish. So a lot of fusion things I make. Foods based on health, foods as medicine. And then I have a website called 5 Seasons TCM. So on there, you will find a lot of free recipes and knowledge about traditional Chinese medicine nutrition. And we also have a shop where you can shop some of the ingredients here that we use. Let's say the Goji Berry. I've sourced a fantastic certified organic Goji Berry from Ningxia, China, the best province for Gojis. So they will be here soon. We'll launch it in 2 weeks. And then we also have the camellia seed oil. So I really want to highlight these high quality Asian ingredients that's good for our health. Yeah, so if you're interested, just check it out to learn something about TCM, and because I think it is super easy to do once you learn a little bit. It's a very affordable medicine. You just touch yourself. You just eat certain things at certain season. You don't have to buy expensive supplements. You don't have to buy expensive massage tools. It's just basically your hands. So yeah, if you're interested, check my channels out. And we'll be launching a YouTube channel. Actually, we hired a videographer, so we've been shooting some really nice cooking tutorials, and those will be out in a week. I'm sorry, the black sesame is in my throat. Okay, so much better.
That just reminded me, everybody take a drink of water right now. Hydrate yourselves.
Exactly, hydrate.
Zoey, how much longer are you waiting for the rest of the ingredients to come together? Because I still have many questions, and if it's okay with you, can we still chat or open up the line if anybody else has questions for you?
course, yeah. I still have probably 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay, good. So does anybody, before I keep hogging up all the space here, does anybody else want to chime in or have questions about traditional Chinese medicine? Is this the first time that you're hearing of it? Are you familiar with other kind of non-Western modalities like Ayurveda or the 5 elements, which is something that Kimberly Ashton will be talking about too later on. By the way, thank you, Zoey, for indirectly letting me meet Kimberly through you, because she's going to be speaking later today at 5 o'clock from Sydney, Australia. Like, she's in Australia. And so I'm so excited to talk to her. And she was also on my Instagram live the other day too, talking about food energetics and food therapy and using the 5 elements. So can you share with us here? So if anybody's not chiming in.
Yeah, I had a question. I wanted to know, I've never heard of purple rice before. Black rice, like, where is it? Where do you get them from? And is it the same carbohydrate makeup as white rice?
Right, great question. So they're actually very common in Asian cuisine, and you can find them online. Just search purple rice or search black rice. Very easy to buy online. And also, if you have a Chinatown around you, they're definitely sold in any Chinese markets. So, and these are not the same as white rice. So white rice is a refined carb, so they will cause your blood sugar to rise quickly. But these are actually whole grain, so it still has the husk outside. So, you know, it has a lower GI, so your blood sugar will remain more stable with those kind of grains. And also it's a little bit higher in protein and have a more phytonutrients, as you can see from the colors, and more minerals as well. So I would really, really recommend those kind of grains. So when I was interning in a Chinese hospital for diabetic patients, they don't give them white rice. They give them this kind of a mix of black, purple, millets, and lentils. That's what they give them.
And what's the difference between that and brown rice? And you're in New York, you said?
Yes, I'm in New York. I'm in Brooklyn. So, well, a similar concept from brown rice, because brown rice still have the outside as well. However, the black and purple rice is considered to have even more nutrients than brown rice. Yeah.
Okay, I was asking because I'm in Queens, so I was wondering if you like did cooking demonstrations or something that I could come to. Well, I forgot we in COVID. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Right. Before that, I do, host dinners, but now we don't. But, feel free to go on my website. We have a lot of just free recipes that you could just follow. And once our video's up, I think it'll be easier, so visually you can see how to use some of these great Asian healing ingredients.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And I see a question in the chart. Someone's asking, Ariel is asking, what are some more of your favorite yin ingredients, yin nourishing ingredients? Great question. So if I can be in the center of the screen, Dina.
Yes, please.
Okay, my face is here. Great. So mushrooms are all very yin nourishing. That's my mushroom drawer. So I would highly recommend silver ear mushroom. Again, super easy to buy online or in Chinatown. Very easy. And we also carry them on 5 Seasons website. What you do is you soak these mushrooms overnight. They will blow up. This will become as big as like half of my face, half of my head. Okay. And then you can just make stew with it. Stew this with pear, or putting soup, any stew dish you can do. So that's great. Another one is this. I don't know, anybody could recognize black wood ear mushroom. You can even buy fresh ones at Italy, at Flatiron, the huge Italian grocery store. They even carry fresh ones, and they're not too expensive, surprisingly. But the dried ones is even more affordable, because this much you soak, they become like 2 cups big. So a fantastic ingredients. I love the texture. If you like crunchier texture, just, you know, soak them and then boil them in water for 10 minutes. They will remain crunchy. You can search for wood ear salad. You find a lot of recipes online. But I love softer texture. So I put them in my chicken stock. After you stew them for more than 3 hours, they melt in your mouth. It's like butter. Really great texture. Okay, and then here, I don't know if you can recognize this one, this little guy, or this big guy that I foraged. These are all reishi mushrooms. Reishi mushroom is the mother of all mushrooms, and they have it's just a queen of nourishing your yin and boosts immunity. However, they taste pretty horrible, pretty bitter, unfortunately. So, you know, they have reishi powder out there. So I would recommend you just get that and then put in some of, let's say the porridge that have a stronger taste, or a meat stew that have a stronger taste. So they can kind of cover the bitterness of it. And all you can even put in your drinks, put in your coffee, since it's already bitter anyway. You might as well just put it in. Reishi, I would recommend to take as a supplement if you don't like this kind of like a slightly bitter flavor. Okay, and then yin nourishing in terms of fresher things, I would say fresh mushrooms, all the mushrooms, right? And then pear is good. Pear, stew the pears. Black sesame, white sesame, and tahini, you know, all the sesame family, sesame oil is pretty good. Mulberry is fantastic. I have, it's really deep in my closet. Okay, here we go. Mulberry. Mulberry. These are dried mulberry. Again, super easy to buy online. And they smell fantastic. And when you put them in hot water, they turn actually a beautiful purple color. You can also soak them, and if you like to drink in vodka, then it becomes medicinal wine. If you like to drink. Yeah, so I recommend you could start from there for yin nourishing. So the symptom that you need more yin will be, you know, of course, dry hair, dry skin. For ladies, you know, dryness underneath, and then you could have a hot flash for face. A lot of the menopausal symptoms is actually symptoms of yin deficiency. And when you also look at your tongue in the mirror, if you see cracks, little cracks here and there, it could be yin deficiency as well. So if you feel that, sometimes you feel thirst or you feel easily agitated, yin nourishing. You need to have more yin nourishing ingredients. So yin nourishing, you can think of it almost like hydration, but goes beyond, you know, just physical hydration like water. It kind of needs to make your body or encourage your body to produce more hydration from within, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. So, okay, I can see the porridge is thickened. Oh, let me. It's kind of hard to hold. 1 second. Here. Hope you can see. So you can see it definitely thickens. And you can see the grain becomes a lot softer. So the sign that your porridge is done is that the grain becomes soft, puffed up. And the good thing is you can never overcook a porridge. If it becomes really thick, just add more water. If it's still really thin, just let it cook a little more to your desired consistency. So at that point, I might as well, since we have limited time today, I'm just going to season it. So for seasoning, I'm just going to do the really simple soy sauce today. Soy sauce. And I really want to chime in to talk to you when you buy soy sauce, read the ingredient label. There are tons of soy sauce out there, but good ones, very few. Make sure the ingredient is only water, soybean, salt. Sometimes have a little bit wheat. You know, if you don't buy the gluten-free version, it's that. Or you can buy the coconut aminos. But if you go to Chinatown, a lot of soy sauce, but when you read the ingredients, you wouldn't buy it. Just trust me. Okay, so the soy sauce is in. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of honey. I kind of like a little bit sweetness in my favorite foods. And honey, again, is an nourishing ingredient. Good for men and women. So here, I'm going to add a little bit of honey. This is with the royal jelly, bee pollen, and propolis. So it's a very good honey, I guess. Here we go. And you can also use miso paste. You can also use sea salt, brown sugar, a little bit maple syrup even. Very flexible depending on your taste. And then of course you're gonna taste it and see if you want to add anything else. Do you have recipes? Yeah, I will definitely post recipes for this one. And then please go on 5seasonstcm.com. We have so many porridge recipes out there. We even have an ebook to make porridge according to seasonality, because Chinese medicine is huge on seasonality. And it is more than about the in-season produce of farmers market. It is also about what dried goods to eat for this season, right? I wouldn't recommend black rice for summer necessarily. It can be too heavy. Summer will be a millet or even some just white sticky rice and some mung bean together. But for winter, this is a great blend. Okay. Ooh, I can feel it. Like I can, you know, when you spit in there, you can feel it's almost ready. I would prefer to have it a little bit thicker. So we have 10 more minutes. I can pour it out and taste it in 3 minutes. And please, you know, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Happy to answer.
Zoey, I just wanted to confirm that I'm sending out some information in the chat box. I put your website on there. I shared your TikTok link, and also the recipe that you're doing today will add to the post-event email that's going out in about a week or so. But, you know, we'll also make sure we're including the other information, because if I'm not mistaken, you said the ebook stuff, but you also had some promotional things that I think were something promotional that you were doing in the swag bag that we're having as well.
Yeah. So everything on the website, you'll get 10% off.
Perfect.
With your code. Was it made with love 10, I believe?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, thank you. So we're going to put that in there. I actually have some follow-up questions if no one else has anything else to add, because I know you through your journey as a dietetic intern, and I love how you are, you know, you're also keeping true to obviously your own traditional Chinese medicine modalities. So for those of us who do live in a Western environment, this is what I was asking Kimberly as well the other day. Mm-hmm. What is it that we can do, or what do you see as far as the disconnect, being that you have lived in both places? Why is it that, or at least I don't want to generalize, but it feels like a lot of Americans just don't really take our health seriously and don't take our food quality seriously? What are some things that maybe you can suggest to help us invest in ourselves? Because I feel like we go to the very convenient things and, you know, we don't really put a lot of effort. And I'm looking at your mushroom drawers and I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to have that one day. I'd love to get back to cooking and, you know, and doing that. So tell us a little bit of some advice that you have for us.
Thank you so much, Dina. Yeah. So first of all, not all Chinese people have a mushroom drawer, and not all of us. Many of the people nowadays, even in China, don't take their health seriously. Everybody's so busy and everyone convenient things. But I guess just in China, there's a lot of tradition that is so easy. Let's in our traditional recipe, we have these herbs in. It's just a culture of wellness. So unfortunately, I don't see a lot here. But however, it is not difficult to incorporate into your life. I would recommend, you know, first have more patience. in terms of cooking, in terms of self-care, I just feel there's a lack of patience. You know, even when people seek healthcare, seek those kind of wellness things, they want a fast solution, right? What we do when we soak mushrooms in TCM, here is an extract. When we eat protein, here is the powder, right? So what I think we need to do is have the patience to change. Change takes place, can be a little bit slow, but if you do it in a natural way, it is more affordable, more sustainable, and you understand your body just so much more through the process. So that's what I would recommend. And in terms of eating, just try to fit in as many vegetables as possible. Be adventurous. Don't stick to your favorite three kinds. Eat in the Chinese dietary guidelines, there is a saying that you should eat at least 22 kinds of fruits and vegetables per week. At least that amount. So yeah, try to make that goal. And you will see a difference in a month. I think food therapy, generally, you'll see a difference in a month. And do you have the patience for it? That's my suggestion. And for TCM, although it's Chinese medicine, right? But it's totally applicable for everybody. For example, there shouldn't be, Western medicine, Chinese medicine really should be go hand in hand. And there actually is go doing hand in hand. For example, kombucha, everybody knows. It's great for digestion, tastes great. It's invented in China, right? It is part of the Chinese medicine. So many examples like that. So don't think of Chinese medicine as something that's so far away and hard to do. It is actually already probably in your life. So, I really encourage you. So, and I think that the gap is there's not a really good translator for Chinese medicine nutrition. A lot of the recipes are very outdated, old school, or exclusively very Chinese. So what I'm trying to do is really translate it well, say it in a way that people who don't from China can understand it easier. So I would recommend you, if you can explore 5 Seasons or subscribe, because we just launched in October. There are a lot of things for us to improve on. So yeah, I really hope you could start eat a little bit seasonally, take our body constitution quiz to understand what constitution you have, similar to the 3 dosha in Ayurvedic, but in Chinese medicine, we have 9 constitutions. And we give you food recommendations, lifestyle recommendations after the quiz. And I think that can be really helpful. Sometimes you think what you're doing is not happening, might be because you're not doing the right thing. That's for your body. Because, here, I don't think individualized nutrition, individualized medicine is taking place as well, too much or enough. I don't think it's enough. The concept of individualized medicine is not enough yet. So yeah, that's my suggestion. I hope I answered your question.
You absolutely did. Thank you so much for all of that. And, to speak on the whole thing about individualized approaches, for those of us who are in health and wellness, I think it's true. It depends on where you're at. If you're in different situations or different settings, the facility itself might not lend itself well to have that one-on-one individualized approach. If you are unable to afford, a specialist, then that I understand all of those things. But I think it really comes down to understanding who you are. And if you do feel the need to maybe experiment with some things of what works, what doesn't work, like, fruits and vegetables are great, but some people are not so keen on certain acidic qualities. So, play it like Zoe said, be adventurous with some things, try new things for yourself, see what makes sense for you. I know I went from an omnivore diet to a vegetarian diet just because I was so sluggish all the time and I didn't know why. And again, it's not for everybody, but my boyfriend, who I think is on here in New York City watching this, he'll tell you, he's like, Dina only eats the side dishes. And it became a thing that I was like, why am I only ever eating the side dishes and not having the actual like meat or the chicken? I just didn't like digesting it. And so I played around with some of those things for myself. And as I said in the beginning, in no way is any of this medical advice for anybody. If you have conditions or you're dealing with problems, or, you have genetically predisposed to something, obviously look into professional help and get some ideas of what's in there and what works for you. But then realize that just because you're talking to a professional, they might not be taking your own interests into account. They might have their own agenda for things. So work with somebody who speaks to you and treats you like an individual. Thank you for that, Zoe.
Totally. I completely agree with what you just said, Dina. 100%. Understand yourself is the best, and only you can do that. So truly don't just follow any diet trends, and it might not be good for you. Yeah, that's also what I felt as well. So the porridge is done, fully done. Let me actually try to show you here. It's very thick and completely cooked, super yummy. And also you can see it's very dark. A lot of nourishing things in here.
Would you just have that for breakfast? Can that be lunch? Can it be dinner?
I would really recommend for breakfast. That's my favorite course to have porridge with. But you can also do for lunch, for dinner, and you can make another protein dish as the topping, another vegetable dish as topping. It can be a really balanced meal this way.
Patricia, I love your question, because I think in America, we always think of like, I try to say, think outside the cereal box. Like, don't just think about what you consider to be American breakfast. Like, you can have last night's dinner for breakfast. It's just food. But I love the question too, because it's about how you're feeling, what you feel as far as comfort. Like, are you looking for something heavy, something light? So it might depend also on the timing of your day and your schedule of when you want to eat something kind of hearty and feel, comforted by that.
Totally. If you have been eating a breakfast that is cold or dry, try to have something liquidy and warm. I think you will really feel a difference. Like a really simple porridge will do. And then if you've been drinking cold iced coffee, cold beverage throughout the day, just try, especially for winter, try exclusively warm beverage. I see patients, clients lose weight just by doing that. Digestion improved dramatically, PMS improves. So really, I would really recommend to try a warm beverage.
Thank you,
Zoey. If you do the porridge,
yeah, I was going to say, with 1 minute to spare, is there anything else that you wanted to share with us before we wrap up and enter into, now this is perfect timing because I am starving, so this is a lunch break for me. But is there anything else you wanted to share with us before you go?
No, I think that I said everything I wanted to say. Yeah,
I will so much.
Go for lunch.
Thank you so much. Very much appreciate your time with us here, Zoey. I appreciate you.
Miss you so much, Dina.
I miss you too. I miss you too. I'm really so proud of you. I'm proud of how far you've come and how your journey's progressed. And thank you for letting me be a small part of that. And thank you for being a part of this. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much,
my love. Have a good rest of the day. I'm going to take you off of co-hosting, and I'm going to just again share with everybody, if you are interested in my telethon voice. If you like what you've been watching, let me stop sharing that for 1 second. Actually put this into the chat box, because the information that was on screen earlier on that PDF, for some reason, some of the links are not, or I should say, it looks like it's not working. So I'm going to put the actual link into the chat box in a second. But I wanted to say, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, the whole purpose of this was really to make sure that we're supporting you, everyone, the guest people that are the guest speakers that are on here are supporting you, your mental health. Everybody has a different topic. Every audience member, every participant that's here right with us right now, maybe is gleaning something different from different things. I mentioned in the beginning when I introduced the event that some things might resonate with you and some things might trigger you. And if you feel like you want to leave the event until that session is over, then by all means, please do that, because this needs to be a safe and supportive environment. And we need to be respectful of that, but maybe also sit with something and process why things are off for you, or if you're feeling a little bit detached. And so the point of a lot of what I'm trying to say here as well is that mental health is very important to me. It's one of the things that I try my best to be very transparent about, because I've had my own mental health issues, and I've often said, like, who hasn't? But we all are on different extreme parts of the spectrum, I guess, and how we can monitor that. So I always say, I carry this with me everywhere I go. My little bipolar necklace is under here somewhere. And then Kit, if you're still on here, so like I said, my mom is in the other room and she's watching this. These have a lot of bad words on it, but it's about like how I am very strong and stronger than I know, but it's said in a very cursed language. But anyway, So what I wanted to do from here is if anybody is able to contribute in any way, I had originally suggested $35 per person, and that seems to be what's coming in. But if you cannot afford anything, then by all means stick around for free. It's okay. You don't have to contribute anything. But if you want to give more or less, I'm not going to stop you on that either. So I'm going to put this information in the chat box right now, just because what's on here, I think you can scan the code, but the PayPal thing is throwing everybody off. So here's the link to that or that. If you are not an online person and you want to send a check or whatever, that's totally fine. In the post-event email, I'll put my home address, and I'm not going to take any money out of this. The reason why I'm collecting it is so that we can see how much we generated in contributions, because I know I want to match a percentage of what we get and then give like a lump sum to Mental Health America. So let me also write that organization down. And so if you, and if you want to donate directly to them, that's totally fine too. But like I said, then it helps me at least keep track of where all this is going and how much we ended up collecting. So I'm going to put mhanational.org is the name of the foundation, the organization that we're going to donate to. They have such a wonderful variety of resources. Back in September, I think it was, they gave a 2-day, full-day conference for free, and it had so many people in it, people from like college campus kids to Kenneth Cole to governors and it was just so amazing to see how many people were really open about sharing their journey and destigmatizing mental health, because I think that's the thing. It's like we're all suffering, especially this year. So I'm putting in the chat box. I wanted to say also donations so far are almost at $260. So thank you. I'm going to cry at some point for sure, but right now I'm going to try to hold it together. And if you want to donate directly to them, that's cool. But I recommend using the hashtag made with love, just so that you know we kind of categorize it if you're going directly to them. But in the post-event follow-up email, I'll put all this information in there. And if you want to send a check, that's totally fine. If you want to do it some other way through Square or Stripe or whatever I have, that's totally fine too. Okay, on that note, let me stop talking and allow everybody to, whoops, I think that was up there for a long time. Let me go back to this thing here. Hold on one second. And now we'll have a little bit of a break for the next half hour or so, I think. Right? Let's see. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Okay, so let's do a little break. We can do a mixer. I need to go get something to eat. Mom, if you're hearing me, I don't know, you said you're going to make tuna fish salad, so I'm going to come out and fetch that from you, or I'll just make it myself. And then if anybody else here wants to share stories or chat, bring your lunch and come hang out with all of us in the next couple of minutes or so.